At this time, I would like to turn today's program over to Mr. John Meany. Sir, you may begin.
Thank you very much. I wanted to start off by thanking you guys for joining us today. My name is John Meany. I'm an account manager with the Intuit Franchise Program. I manage our Eastern region, and I'll kind of go through some other introductions shortly here. I want to kind of give you a high-level overview of what the Intuit Franchise Program is. We created this program about 5 years ago to address some of the specific needs we'd uncovered in the franchise world. Just to allay any concerns, there's no cost to be a part of the program. There's nothing to maintain. What we want to do is we want to offer the best services that we can in the franchise space. As a member of the program, you receive discounts on Intuit offerings, as well as a dedicated account team that's familiar with the franchise world. It's more than just a sales team, too. These people can advise you on best practices of growing your brand. So why work with Intuit? One of the reasons we created this team was to address specific needs that larger organizations were having. We did a survey a while back, and about 84% of small and medium businesses were already using QuickBooks. We wanted to find a way to help franchisors assist their franchisees, allowing both to be much more successful. In researching this, we found that our financial software, point-of-sale system, payroll, and merchant service offerings address the majority of our partners' needs. And then we partnered with some other third-party vendors that address specifics. One of those you will hear from today, which is Qvinci, and basically it's a consolidated reporting tool that can take financial information from various QuickBooks files and report on it at a higher level so you can get kind of a good feel of the health and well-being of your organization as a whole, as well as drill down into specific locations to see how you might be able to guide them to help them be more successful and better direct them as one of your franchisees. So I'll go ahead and take a minute to introduce the team. These are the people that you'll be working with. Lori Gonzalez is a franchise account manager who works with Keith and myself. We'll be your main points of contact, either Keith or me, and then Lori as well. Keith is a franchise account manager that managed the Western region, and I manage the Eastern region. Charles Nagel is the CEO and developer of Qvinci, which is, as I mentioned before, it's a financial reporting tool that integrates with QuickBooks. And Kim Mitchell, she's a channel account manager in our reseller team who's an expert in secure checks, and we'll be kind of going through that with us as well today. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and hand it off to Keith Greener, who's going to kind of touch on our line of business and everything that we can do to help you out.
Thanks, John. So in the franchise space, Intuit has the benefit of a high percentage of usage of the QuickBooks accounting programs. Currently over 84%, as John said, of franchise systems use and recommend our QuickBooks accounting solutions, both desktop as well as our cloud-based programs. The reason being they recommend QuickBooks accounting programs because they're very easy to integrate applications to that you may be using for quoting and other things within your franchise system. As well as we have different versions that are usable by the franchisees, whether it's our Pro version, which is the most popular version of QuickBooks, or Premier, or even our Enterprise version, which is used typically by large organizations and multi-units. All very easy to use and very successful and simple. Over the past 3 years, we've seen a trend in the industry, and specifically in the franchise space, where franchisors are looking to move to the clouds. So we adjusted our franchise offering to include a desktop hosting solution for QuickBooks programs. So now you really have a couple of choices as a franchise system to run and operate your business. You can run it on desktop, which is fine locally with each franchisee, or you can also choose to have the desktop hosted, and it operates just like it does on your local PC, except it is placed on a remote PC, so each user logs into their QuickBooks desktop and manages their program that way. Having your program hosted provides a number of benefits, one of them being lower IT costs. Again, you're not having to rely upon upgrading your servers and your equipment every year because you're simply accessing the program via the web. Our QuickBooks Desktop program is our most popular program. Having it hosted gives you additional benefits of being in the clouds as well as the data being securely backed up on a nightly basis. Intuit works with a number of hosting companies that provide hosting services for our franchise partners. Now, another option you have as a franchise system is QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online is Intuit's internet-based accounting program. It provides the same types of services and support in accounting as the desktop, except it's on the internet. And again, there's different flavors for the programs for the QuickBooks Online, Essentials, as well as QuickBooks Plus. And they have different features that the franchise systems use and adopt. Our team will help you determine the best course of action on choosing whether you start off with desktop or move to the clouds. And we've seen a number of systems over the years who are currently deploying desktop decide to move to the clouds because of the features and benefits we talked about. And John and I will be happy to help you with the transition and discussion of these solutions. Intuit has the most comprehensive billing solutions in the industry, both for desktop and online. Using our programs, you can easily bill and collect invoicing from your customers based on your own needs. For example, you can send out emails and collect money that way from proceeds, as well as you can create an invoice in the mail and send it out to your clients. One of the benefits we offer within the program of emailing your customers is faster payment processing, whereby they can remit payment to you via credit card or even via ACH. So our goal is to help your franchisees manage and collect easily their billing solutions for their customers. Now, we know that there's other ways that your franchisees need to collect money, and that could be by phone. So another solution would be when the clients want to remit money, they can call your franchise and they can process a credit card through QuickBooks very easily. Now, for those franchise systems that are mobile or need to collect money in the field, typically a lawn service or a restaurant, we also have a mobile solution whereby your franchise operator, your franchise technicians can use their mobile phone or iPad to collect money in the field easily, which is then reconciled back into their QuickBooks. So we're giving you all the flexibility and the means whereby they can collect money easily and process it within their QuickBooks program. I mentioned the ACH collection that we have, and that's called our Intuit Payment Network. This is like PayPal, where you send a bill and you receive money bank to bank. Very affordable, very easy to use. As you can see, it's only 50 cents per transaction. So it's a great way to lower your cost of processing your invoicing using the Intuit Payment Network. And again, these solutions will all be available and discussed with you as we roll out programs with our franchise partners. Another solution we have within Intuit is the Intuit Point of Sale. A great solution for small to medium retailers, whether it's a single store or multi-store locations. Again, the QuickBooks Point of Sale is a great program. It reconciles to the accounting program, so everything that you have within Intuit is seamless and works together very nicely. It also can track employee hours, so all of this information can be tracked within QuickBooks and then easily used with the Intuit Payroll programs that we offer. So if there's interest in reviewing more of the point of sale solution, again, we can talk with you one-on-one after the call and discuss those benefits.
My name is Lori. I'm going to talk to you about our Intuit Payroll services. Our goal is to make payroll simple so you can focus on what you love, your business. Over 1 million small businesses use Intuit Payroll services today. With our payroll services, you can pay your employees quickly and easily, create unlimited paychecks instantly, calculate your payroll taxes automatically, avoid tax penalties guaranteed. Our payroll service works with or without QuickBooks. I'm going to talk to you about two of our most popular payroll services today, Enhanced Payroll on the left and our Intuit Full Service Payroll on the right. Enhanced Payroll is for the hands-on payroll person. In QuickBooks, you have an employee module with an employee tab. Our tax table structure is loaded into the Enhanced Payroll service with the latest accurate tax rates. When you set up your payroll for your employees, Using Enhanced Payroll, you cut the check or click Direct Deposit. The taxes are pulled out perfectly. When it comes time to pay the taxes, you pay the taxes yourself electronically through the program. The state and federal tax forms are built into the program. The forms will populate with the correct amount due. You can print the forms off and then send them out with a check to the proper tax agency for the amount due, or you can click a button and pay them electronically if that is allowed in your area. With this service, you're responsible for paying the taxes on time and accurately. Enhanced Payroll has no contract. You can pay for this service either monthly or annual. Now, Intuit Full Service Payroll on the right. With Full Service Payroll, we Intuit do the setup, run, and file payroll for you. We will transfer data from your previous payroll service to our Intuit Full Service Payroll. It's error-free, accuracy is guaranteed. We have live support based in the USA. This is a web-based SaaS product. You would log into your Intuit Full Service account, you would punch in the hours for the employees, and when you're ready to run payroll, you approve the payroll. You cut the check or click a button for direct deposit. We Intuit pay the taxes on time and accurately. We also take care of the W-2s and 1099s. We will mail them out to your employees and subcontractors. All reporting is provided, no extra fees for that. There is no contract. This is a monthly fee and a per employee or 1099 subcontractor fee with unlimited payroll runs. The payroll data will then flow into your QuickBooks desktop for the PC or the Mac or QuickBooks Online. With each of these services, we offer an employee View My Payroll portal where the employees can log in to view their pay stubs or print them off. We also have an administrator view where the admin can view some detailed reporting. Intuit Payroll is the #1 payroll solution provider. This is based on aggregate customer count for the Intuit Payroll services as of June 30th, 2013. I am looking forward to working with you and exploring our Intuit Payroll services and to find the best solution for you and your franchisees. Now over to Kim. She will talk to you about Intuit Checks. Take it away, Kim.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining today. So today I'm going to talk about the two types of Secure Plus checks that Intuit offers. And I'm going to start a little bit with a background about why we got started. Intuit partnered with Frank Avengale, world's leading authority on check fraud and the subject of the film Catch Me If You Can. And he designed these Secure Plus checks for strictly for Intuit. Frank partners with only one company every 5 years to create a fraud protection package, and he chose Intuit to do so. Secure Plus Checks was introduced to Intuit about 3 years ago, and this check is the ultimate in fraud protection. It's your most powerful defense against check fraud. Intuit designed these secure checks because we care about you and your customers and business partners, and we're committed to staying ahead of check fraud. When you're buying these checks from Intuit, you're buying more than just a secure check. It's a fraud prevention package. It protects your small businesses from the beginning of the check ordering process through the delivery process. And I just want to share a few statistics with you today. 30% of fraud cases occur with small businesses with less than 100 employees. There are more than 1.2 million fraudulent checks written every day. So as you can see, it affects a lot of small businesses. In fact, 30% of small businesses actually fail due to fraud. Check fraud includes different types. There's all different types of check fraud, including counterfeiting, copying of check, forgery, removal of content, or even alteration of the check. With new technologies, it's making it really easy to commit check fraud, and all checks are not created equal. With modern scanners, it's becoming increasingly difficult to tell a fake check from reproduction. By adding controlled paper stock, thermocratic ink, a prismatic background, a custom watermark, and other features in our Secure Plus checks, you, the payee, and your bank can instantly tell if this check is legitimate or fake. Intuit is making it easy to secure your business against check fraud with these ultimate in fraud protection checks. If you're writing checks to pay bills, to pay employees, or even your vendors, Secure Plus Checks is the best way to go. This is going to be your most powerful defense against check fraud. And I'd like to mention to all of you today on the call, as part of the franchise program, we will offer you 50 free checks to all your franchisees. Thank you very much for your time. And back to you, John.
Hi, thanks, Kim. It's Keith here. So another benefit that we've introduced to our partners in the program is what we call the Intuit Franchise Portal. Now, this was designed for a franchise system to communicate to their franchisees important information, marketing information, and other essential pieces of information that they would need to run their business. So essentially, I'm going to show you a quick demo of the live Intuit Franchise Portal so that I can show you what this looks like. So this is a web-based program. Each of your franchisees would have a login credential that's secure, so they will only be able to log into your franchise portal. As you can see in this beta example, we've got co-branding available. So on the left side and on top, your name can appear. So when franchisees log in, they'll see your name and know that it's their franchise system. What we've included on the franchise portal, essentially, as you can see, are the critical things that you need to communicate to your franchisees, including a bulletin board. You can use this to communicate events that are going on in your program or in your system. This could be, for example, your annual show or convention, or it may be guest speakers, for example, that may be speaking in an area that your franchisees would like to attend. Very simple to do, very user-friendly to use our franchise portal. Additionally, you want to have contacts. Who do I contact at headquarters about certain issues that I need to have addressed, whether it's IT or support, etc. And your franchise support team will be listed as well on your portal. Additionally, we all know that many of you have specific marketing materials, whether it be a flyer or email communication or other things that your franchisees use on a day-to-day basis to run their business. This is a location whereby you can place all of that franchise information in one place. So it's all easy for your franchisees to access anytime, anywhere. Again, you can upload templates for PDF flyers that can be downloaded. You can upload email templates, all very user-friendly and designed based on what you need to do and communicate to your system. Now, we all know that many of you have approved suppliers, ideally QuickBooks and Intuit being one of them as a program that we talked about. So on the supplier tab or snapboard, you can list your suppliers. And what's great is you can link the supplier list directly to their website so that your franchisees can go directly there to order the products and services that they need. We know that many of our franchise partners today have products and services that they sell directly to their franchisees. You also can have your own snapboard, which will allow them to order directly from you through your own website. Again, all of this is very easy to do and very affordable for you to use as a franchisor. Moving on to another great service that we offer our partners. So DemandForce is a service that will help you as a franchisor build your brand, help develop new leads, drive business, and stay in front of your customers on an ongoing basis. The service essentially works with QuickBooks, so any customer information within QuickBooks, or even if you have a third-party app where your customer's information is based, it can sync with that information so that you now have a way to easily communicate by email or text mail to your customers ongoing about various aspects of your business. What's great about the program as well is it helps build your brand through doing reviews with your customers. For example, upon you executing a service or a service with a customer, they'll receive an email from your franchisee through DemandForce asking them for a review on how well they did. These reviews then are populated online with the search engines, whereby building your brand, building awareness, and as we know, reviews are critically important for people to make decisions on which franchisee, which franchise service that they want to take advantage of. And that's a growing trend that you need to stay ahead of, is making sure that your businesses are the ones that are having the best reviews and are found on the internet. And all of this is tracked within the DemandForce program. When a review is completed and a job is done at a location, the DemandForce tool will track the revenue generated from that particular sale or that service. So as an ongoing basis, you can see the strength and power of how DemandForce is driving revenue within your franchise system. A good example I learned from one of our franchisees who is in the automotive industry. He does car oil changes as well as car maintenance. The example that he gave me the other day was he was seeing that his sales were somewhat slow at the end of the week, and he was doing okay on the weekends. So what he decided to do is run a Friday promotion on an oil change to his customer base. First come, first serve, save $10 off your oil change, come in on Friday and reserve your time. So DemandForce not only tracks your information, but also can help you generate sales by using this particular service. Again, at the end of the conversation today, we can have more detailed discussion with you about how DemandForce can benefit your franchise system.
This is John again. I'm going to touch on our field service management tool. The field service management, it's a fully integrated field dispatch and billing management system. So any of you guys that have a force out in the field, technicians or what have you, this is a great way to dispatch them as well as for them to get paid quickly, get paid while they're on site rather than having to chase down a check later on. You can also use this tool to track mobile inventory. So goods that are coming in or going out of a truck can be tracked through the field service management tool. It allows your field force to really use any smartphone to be dispatched. So I guess the second picture here, the first and second pictures would be what your dispatch agent would see at your corporate location. And it's kind of hard to see because it's a little small, but you can see on the second picture green bars and blue bars and yellow bars. And what that's basically showing is it's giving a graphical interface for your dispatchers to know. The blue means that somebody's on their way to a job. The green means it's done. Yellow is a scheduled opportunity or a scheduled job that needs to be done. And then the map-based, the first picture there is the map-based GUI, which shows where all your field techs are. So if there's an emergency, if somebody is, if you're an HVAC company, that's a big one for this product. Somebody's air conditioner's out and it's Texas in August and you got to get somebody there as quick as possible. You can easily pull that map up and see where all of your techs are at a specific location, so that you can assign the work order to the correct to the closest tech. It also has the ability to there's a payroll module for it, so it lets your employees log in and log out while they're in the field, so they don't have to come in, punch a time clock, that kind of thing. As they go throughout their day, they can log in and log out on the spot. All this information is seamlessly integrated with QuickBooks, so everything gets reported back to QuickBooks for financial reporting at the end of the day. It's a really cool tool, and like Keith said, this is another one that we can dive deeper into or get demos on if necessary, or answer any questions during the Q&A portion. So that being said, I'm going to hand it off to Charles, who's going to go over Qvinci, which is our which is his consolidated reporting tool that integrates with QuickBooks.
Thanks, John. If we could go back to the PowerPoint, and I'm going to give it back to you, Keith, for the slides that are there on the PowerPoint. There we go. Okay, so thank you. Qvinci is a reporting solution that allows you, the franchisor, to collect financials from all of your locations, no matter where they are, and run comparison reports, benchmarks, ranking, consolidations along the financial data that is synced every day from your franchisee location. And your franchisees also have the ability to run reports on their own locations as well. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to speak a little bit about the business case. here's an example. In your FDD, if you're a franchisor, you probably have in your FDD that your locations have to report their financials to you on some basis. And the how to of doing that is the hard part, right? Because you can imagine that each one of these locations, maybe you have 10, 15, 20 locations, they're probably running QuickBooks at each of their individual locations. And they likely have their own charts of accounts, and they're doing their own accounting in their own timeline, and they might be running a different version of QuickBooks. And so pulling the data from all these locations using Excel or some other means or manual entry means is difficult because these charts of accounts are different, and getting people to comply with that and the effort that they have to do to get the data to you, the franchisor, is the problem. And Qvinci automates securely this process. Basically what happens is a small sync client is downloaded to each location, no matter where it is, whether it's a laptop or hosted. The sync client will connect to the QuickBooks file and automatically push the data over to the Qvinci Cloud reporting solution where you can log in and look at the results. And your franchisee, say at this location, can log in and look at their units. So if you go ahead and make me the presenter, Keith, I'm going to run a live demonstration for Qvinci at this point. So you should be seeing the Qvinci desktop on your screen at this point. If I'm a multi-unit owner, this is the dashboard. We have two layers. We have a dashboard layer and we have a reporting layer. The reporting layer has a lot of numbers in it and gives you statistical analysis. This gives you a high-level overview. In this case, I have 4 locations. And if I'm a franchisee and I own those 4 locations, I can log in and look at my data. I can never see anyone else's data, only my data. As a franchisor, however, when you log in, you will see all the locations for everything that's in your ecosystem. So this is a composite view, a consolidated view across all locations, and these are called widgets. And the widgets can be turned on and off and customized the layout to your preference, and it gets remembered and is persistent. Every time you log in, your dashboard will be in the same layout. If you want to look at an individual location, simply click the location, and here's the dashboard data for that location. The franchisees and the franchisors have the same kind of UI. It's just a matter of which locations can I see. And as a franchisor, you determine who sees which locations. Usually you'll want to know more, and you'll come over and click in the top corner here, the Reporting tab. When you click the Reporting tab, this is where you build reports. And you can build as many reports as you want to on the fly. You can also memorize reports. So by way of example, very quickly, I've memorized the P&L by location year to date. I simply click the report, and Qvinci gives me that quickly, and this is a live account, the P&L for all 4 locations year to date, side by side, and the consolidated numbers in a standardized way. If I'm a multi-unit operator, I see my 4 locations and my average. If I'm a franchisor, I see all the locations that I have selected. One thing to state is we know that all these locations, remember that map that had, that topology map that we had, those locations are probably going to have different charts of accounts in a QuickBooks file. Qvinci has some patent-pending technology called account mapping, and we're looking at it in account map mode, whereby we take the data that's coming in from the field in their format and we map it into your standardized chart of accounts. When you take an account with us, you put your standardized chart of accounts in, there's a keyword and lookup list, and as data comes over from these locations, we will put it into the right account for you so that you're comparing your locations in a standardized way without making them go modify reports or put them in a certain format. The franchisees really have to do very, very little. They link, and their files will automatically sync. Every time they open their QuickBooks file on a given day, 3 years of data will come over in about 20 seconds. They won't even know it's happening. It'll just be automatic. Of course, all reports can be exported to Excel for other uses. For instance, if you have a royalty calculation that's based on the P&L performance, certainly an easy way to get all your locations side by side, export, and read it into your systems. Returning to the reporting page, let's build one on the fly, something that your franchisees can do and you can do. I'm going to do peer benchmarking, and I'm going to compare the P&L of my locations to the top 10% in the ecosystem for last month, and I build the report. If I had 1,000 locations, this would be the average of the top 10% performance in the ecosystem and my businesses side by side on a line item basis with the best of the best. And you can run as many reports as you want to. Again, returning to the reports page, some of the more popular reports, for instance, might be the ranking report, where franchisors can rank their businesses, and I want to look at them in ascending order or descending order by net income or by gross margin by net income margin, total income, and again, it can always be exported to Excel. So we give you the ability to look at data on demand the way you want to look at it. And the final point I'm going to make is on the left-hand side, you'll see over here what we call properties. These properties, some of them are standard. For instance, total income, age of business, the state that the locations are contained in. You can create custom properties. You may have non-financial properties that attach to each one of your businesses, such as demographic data, population in a 135-mile radius. Is my store open 24 hours? Yes, no. Do they serve breakfast? Yes, no. Square footage. You can have up to 15 custom properties such that you can run all these reports based on these metrics. So you may want to compare. Your franchisees may want to compare. I want to look at all the businesses that are in Texas that are 60 months old, that have 10 to 15 employees, that are open 24 hours. Show me these reports based on the filtering criteria that you get to select. What you can do with a solution like this is begin to compare actuals to actuals. One final note, security. We do not pull in our reporting any Social Security numbers, checking account numbers, EIN numbers, any of those kinds of numbers. We're pulling transactional type data. It's in a highly secure fashion, and franchisees cannot see each other's numbers. They can only see anonymized numbers, top 10%, and that sort of thing. So what I'd like to do now is I'll go ahead and pass the presenter back to Keith.
Thanks, Charles.
Okay, thank you.
So with that in mind, we've come to the end of our webinar today. We want to thank you all for joining, and we'll open it up right now for some brief questions and answers, and then we can then follow with each of you at a later point and drill down to more of the details if needed.
At this time, if you would like to ask a question, you may do so by pressing *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, to ask a question, press *1. We'll pause for a moment to compile the Q&A roster. And do we have any questions?
Yes, from Peter Shahadi.
Yes, thank you. I hope that there were other participants because I thought the presentation was great. This is my question. We have been selling, as part of our initial franchise fee, QuickBooks. It's in all different, years and whatever. Most of them were pro. What am I buying so that it can go into those all those accounts to synthesize this information?
Peter, if you're referring to the Qvinci reporting application, the QuickBooks version that was required by our franchisees would be 2012 or newer, and that information can be synced within the Qvinci reporting application. So if any franchisees are on an older version of QuickBooks, 2011, 10, etc., we would provide them with an upgrade version at a substantial discount so that you'll be able to have syncing with all of your franchisees.
Okay. What, as the franchisor, am I buying to get this program?
Charles?
So what we do is the franchisor takes an account with us, and then you add your franchisees as participants. We charge on a per location basis. It's one fee. It's a flat fee per location per month, $14.95. And from there, so you build out a network. Maybe you have 10 locations, 15 locations. So you put 15 units in there. You'll invite the franchisees to join, and if you have multi-unit owners, they'll be able to connect and sync and report on 2 or 3 units, whatever that is. The singles will only have 1 unit, but you'll see them all. So you are basically the admin in the Qvinci ecosystem, and you determine who gets added in and who has viewership privileges to. We bill you, and you either pass it through to your franchisees or however you handle that internally.
Okay, so if we're talking about 15 franchisees, which is basically what I have, I'm talking about 15 times 15, which would be $225 a month?
That's it.
Really?
Total charge.
Wow.
We don't do, we're a subscription, we're a SaaS solution. I guess I should have said that, but it was we're an online SaaS solution, so it will run on an iPad. Of course, running Excel on an iPhone is a little difficult to see all those rows, right? But it runs great on an iPad or a mobile device or a laptop or a desktop. And your franchise, you can log in, you can have as many users as you want. You can run as many reports as you want. They'll sync every day, basically. And there are no contracts to sign. It's a monthly subscription.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm interested in doing it. So I'm outside of the Philadelphia area. What would my next step be?
We'll have John Meany follow up with you, Peter, after the call.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks.
Your next question is from Christy Mora.
I think he just answered or asked most of the questions that I was asking. So all of our licensees would need to be on QuickBooks 2012 or later in order to sync with the Qvinci?
That's correct, Christy.
Okay. And then
one point I will make, this is Charles again. You may have someone who's likes QuickBooks Premier or someone on Pro, someone on Enterprise. It's the version or the model number is really immaterial. It's just the year that's the issue at this point.
And then how do you accommodate the different chart of accounts?
We have an account mapping tool. The way it works, and I'll speak to it fairly briefly, is you set up a SCOA, Standard Chart of Accounts, in Qvinci, what you would like to see the resultant reports to be in. And there's a white list on everyone's accounts. So some people call it fuel and some people call it lubricants, for instance, or some people call it rental and some people call it lease. You put these keywords in, and as the data comes over, we go, well, I know what to do with rental. I'm going to put it over here. There's also a mapping where you can clean things up after the fact. Something may come over and someone's got a typo and they spell lease, L-E-E-E-E-S-E, right? You can force that mapping over and it will be in the right place where it's supposed to be without making them change it in the QuickBooks file.
Okay.
I will say this to say that, though, which I didn't address. You can look at it both ways. Oftentimes what the franchisors will do is they'll look at the QuickBooks, look at the reports in standardized mode and go, oh, wait a minute, location 2012, this looks a little out of order. I'm going to go look at the location 2012, turn off account mapping, and I'm looking at it as it is in their QuickBooks file with their chart of accounts.
Okay.
So you can flip back and forth.
Okay. And then does this work, we're considering, because not only we have about 45 licensees across the nation, but we also have 7 that are privately owned. So they're technically affiliates, but they are in 4 different states. And currently they're all on their own QuickBooks file. If we were to transfer to one of the cloud-based or an online version, we're currently on Premier. Does this work with the Qvinci as well if you're on an online version of QuickBooks?
Keith, you want to address that, or?
Currently, Christy, the Qvinci Sync application only works with the desktop products.
Okay.
So if you'd like to have those locations be in the clouds, and if they're using Pro or Premier or Enterprise, they also can have that QuickBooks desktop hosted by one of our hosting companies, essentially replicating what QuickBooks Online would do.
Okay. So would that be an automatic pull then, or would they be duplicating?
No, what we've done, we have Intuit and Qvinci have a number of clients that have that model. And the way it works like this is there's a hosting company and they log into a terminal server, so it's logging into the cloud.
Okay.
We have a background sync app that gets put on the hosting company, and often some of our clients, like Sunoco Oil and Gas, their syncs run at 2 o'clock in the morning automatically. And so we sync the entire ecosystem off hours so that you come in the morning and the data is all fresh.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the information. And then if we did want to go forward with this, will we follow up with Keith or John? Is that how this works?
That's correct. Christy, where are you located?
We're out in California.
Woohoo! Me too. I'll follow up with you after the call.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Your next question is from Lou Franson.
Oh, hi there. I actually have 3 separate questions. Number 1 is, how does the system integrate with existing point-of-sale systems? Number 2 is, other than the subscription cost to the franchisees or the licensees, is there a cost to the franchisor for setup? And the third is, what kind of training is provided?
Charles?
If you're talking about the Qvinci piece on those things, support is free. We have live chat. We're based in Austin, Texas. Everything is here in Austin. There are no setup fees. Depending on which way you want to go, and let me qualify that, we will show you how to do everything, and there's no requirement to pay us anything. If you have a very, very large ecosystem and you want us to build the Ferrari and hand you the keys, it's about $1,500, not required. We'll walk you through everything. It's a fairly benign process. Most of our clients, how many locations do you have just off the top of,
Well, I work with a number of different franchising companies, and they range from anywhere from 5 units to 40.
Okay, so typically what we'll have, we have a very good onboarding process where you can somewhat load everything up using Excel templates. Most of the smaller franchisees find it really easy just to do it themselves. But if you want us to do it for them, it'll be like, again, something that size, about $1,000 to $1,500. Again, we build a car and hand you the keys. But we do full training. There's support, and there are no startup fees unless you want us to do the work for you. And you should budget. We did a Catholic diocese, and it took us about half a day to build out everything because they didn't have all their data. A unit that has 5 locations would probably build it out about 30 minutes.
Good. That's terrific. Thank you.
And Lou, you had asked about POS data. So currently, if you're integrating your POS system to the QuickBooks desktop program, then sales data, etc., or even customer information, depending upon what that is, then whatever data that resides in the actual QuickBooks desktop will sync with Qvinci.
Good. Good. Thank you.
There are no further questions at this time.
Keith, we did have a question come in through chat from Todd asking, they are currently hosting or using Enterprise hosted in the cloud, and he wanted to know if there's a service that would scan invoices so they can directly import into QuickBooks. Do you know of anything like that?
Yeah, Todd, there is, and John and or I will follow up with you after the call to review with you how that process would work. Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate your time. We hope that you found this informative, and we look forward to discussing further opportunities with you as we go forward.
Thank you again for joining us today. This concludes today's web conference. You may now disconnect.